What is up, guys? All right, so in lieu of the holidays, I have a big brisket I'm fixing to prepare. I've got a pork butt that I'm gonna do. We're doing our Thanksgiving early this year. I was trying to do like a Friendsgiving, so my friends can go with their parents and everything. Just because I don't celebrate with family, that doesn't mean nobody else does. But I figure, while I'm doing this, I can give you guys some advice. When I was first learning to do briskets and pork butts and really smoking and cooking and stuff, there's not a lot of good videos on there that'll break it down and kind of show you what to do. I mean, I will do my best, but I'll show you guys how I do it. Literally everybody I know is just it's amazing that it just drips with it. It's so wet it just drips. But I'm gonna set you guys down. The camera's not gonna be facing me. I'm gonna have it down on the brisket. You guys will be able to hear me, but you're not gonna be able to see me very well. I've got a really small kitchen, so we're gonna do the best we can. I'm not gonna promise it'll get better eventually, but we'll try. I'm gonna get you guys set up and I'll be right back. All right, so when you get your brisket, you're always gonna cook it with your fat slab up, and you want this fat slab to be about a half inch or smaller. This brisket, I mean, it's hard. So this is a brisket knife. You can use any knife as long as it's sharp, but I bought this one off Amazon for like 20 bucks. What I do to get an idea of how thick it is, you just cut your little incision. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to hurt the overall product. So you can see right there, and you might be able to see, this is about a half inch thick right there. What you're doing now, it's called trimming. You're just going to trim with a bunch of, like that flap right there, that's undesirable. Big flaps like this. Trim that off. Oh shit. I just did that in my seasoning. Okay, don't do that. I throw my trimmings in just a little disposable metal tray, and I'll show you why I do that here in a little bit. But no, you want to go through here, like I said, make you a little incision. This is a little bit thick. You're going to want to watch your fingers. Do not cut your fingers. It is very easy with these super sharp knives to just slice your finger. And I know that because I've done that, and I don't want you guys to do that. So be careful with your hand placement. I said a half inch. I try and do mine about a quarter inch. I lied to you guys. I'm sorry. That one's good. All right, so that's a good example right there. Y'all might not be able to see it. When you get down to it, you can definitely tell the fat. If you're new at this, it's gonna be very easy to tell the fat from the actual meat itself. So this fat back is pretty chunky. As you're cutting, you just want to watch behind your blade, and you'll be able to see if you're too deep, and you can adjust your depth on that. Get in there, sucker. So something else nobody really tells you that I've had to figure out through personal experiences is that, and it makes this process, quit, Baba, make a noise. It makes this process I'm doing right now a little bit harder. So when you cut this fat, if you cut it while it's cold, if you pull it out of the fridge, you can cut it while it's cold, and this chops up easier. You want your pieces smaller pieces. You don't want big giant ones like this that I did not cut because I'm rushing to get this on the grill. So smaller pieces. Oh, I got one more chunk. There we go. Yeah, but you want smaller pieces, and what I'm doing is I'm rendering that fat down, and rendering that fat basically, and I put it in this rather than a, hey, won't you back up? I'm pointing with this knife, buddy. Rendering the fat instead of throwing it away or disposing of it, you can render it down and pour it back on here, and it makes your brisket a little bit juicier. It helps. It helps. I'm at a loss for words. It just helps keep the brisket a little juicy. But what are you doing, son? But what I was saying about doing this cold, if you cut this cold, you know, a little bit sooner out of the fridge or out of the refrigerator, it's a little bit easier than the way I'm doing it. If you can see right here, I cut a little bit too shallow. It's not that big of a deal. It's not the end of history. So what happens when you smoke this, the heat is actually going to break this fat down. This is why you cook it with the fat side up. So when it breaks it down, the heat will break this down and it's going to soak into your meat underneath. It's gonna soak into this meat. And I don't want that on there. That's a big old chunk of fat. But you don't want, you want it to be able to break down and molecularize, maybe? I don't know. I don't think that's the word. But that's what you're doing. And if it's too thick, then it will not break down the way it's supposed to. So that's why you have to go through and you have to trim it. And I'm sorry this isn't great. My bingy. I'm sorry this is not great, the best footage. There is other footage out there on how to trim this a little bit better. Like I said, this is just kind of what I do. Feel free to experiment. I've been smoking meat for about 2 years now, and I'm still learning. Every time I cook one, or every time I smoke one, I still learn new stuff every single time. Get off her. And which, like I said, that's kind of why I want to help you. God, what are you doing there, boss? That's kind of what I intend to do with this channel, is kind of help you guys out. Or with this video, it's kind of what I want to do, is help you guys out. So, you know, cutting it, and just off that little bit we've cut, we've got almost a full tray. And you want to put this in a metal tray. You do not want to put this in anything plastic. Put this in anything plastic or glass, something that's going to react to heat. Where'd my rag go? You want this to be able to get nice and warm. And again, I will... Ooh, that's too shallow. Again, I will show you guys here in a little while. What are you doing, my friend? Why don't you clean somewhere I haven't cleaned, goofball?
Nowhere.
But, yeah, so this is basically, it's just cutting the fat layer down thinner. Like I said, I'm trying my best to explain it, but I'm not a real good explainer. There are tons and tons of videos out there showing you kind of how to trim it a little bit better, what you want to do with it, and all of that. Alright, when you get one side done, oh my god, you can flip it over. That's a pretty hard coagulated piece. I'm going to try and knock some of that off. On the underside, it's not as important that it has to be a certain depth, or a certain thickness, I suppose. Get that. I'm going to get to the end of this cutting table. Yeah, again, watch your hands, guys. You're having to put a fairly decent amount of force on these knives, and I don't want you slicing your hands open. If you do slice your hands open, delete this video from your watch history. I was not involved. Don't you drag me into your crap. Let's see, that's a really good, nice, thick piece of nasty fat. Well, that's not nasty, I guess. Yeah, that'll work on that one. So, I mean, you can go around here, and these little chunks like this come up. Let's go ahead and knock that sucker off here, just cause. What does this old boy look like? Yeah, that might be tricky. I'll try and trim some of that off. Yeah, see, I got in a little deeper than I thought there, but this is on the bottom side, and it's not as important, so it's not of super great concern to me. What, buddy? What, son?
Nothing. I'm going to go have my first Reese's pie.
Reese's pie, goofbutt?
Yeah.
All right, guys, for this next section, you're gonna want to season your brisket. This, I mean, I made a bunch because I've got a pork butt I'm gonna do it in too. But you want to make you a good hefty amount so you can make the bark on it. It's called the bark, and you want this to have a nice bark. So you can, what they do, I think it's called a dry rub. I don't dry rub it. I use a binder. The binder I was told to use is mustard. And I know you're thinking, oh my God, mustard's going to taste disgusting. You cannot taste this. Once you get it in here and you get it cooked, you absolutely cannot taste this mustard at all. Oh, shoot. What you're going to do is you want to just slather it on there. You want a really good thick coat. You can go thicker if you'd want. I'm not going to go as thick as some people I've seen. But you want a good healthy coating on there. So this is, you can use gloves if you want. I don't use gloves. It's a waste of time. Just make sure you wash your hands, and even if you're cooking everything from scratch, don't scratch while you're cooking. You want to go ahead and get on the sides real well. All the little nooks and crevices and crannies and all that good stuff. And it is going to smell disgusting, I promise. Ooh, need a towel. For this section, you are going to need a towel because you are going to be washing your hands quite a bit. So after that, I mean, you can distribute your seasoning how you want. Sometimes I take some in my hand and just sprinkle it on. You're going to make a mess. It's fine. You can clean it up. It's not the end of the world. But take it and put you a good, healthy amount on there. You are going to do this to both sides. So depending on your brisket size, make sure you have the appropriate amount. If you have to stop and make more, it's not that big of a deal. I'm not going to tell you what's in my secret seasoning. You guys can do a little Google research like I did. Oh, shoot. You can do a little Google research like I did, and you can figure out what tastes you want, what you may like, what you won't like, kind of that stuff. You can do this on your countertop. I'm doing it on my oven, which I usually don't, but I'm doing it on my oven just for filming purposes. Is that her?
Yeah.
Okay, she's definitely going to come in here, dingledork.
Oh, not bad.
So after you get this big... Oh, shoot. I did it again. Golly, man. You want to take your hands and you kind of just want to push that in there a little bit. Not super hard. Just push it down there where it will not come up. Push it into your binder where when you pick this up here in about 30 seconds, it's not all going to fall off. Yes, some of it will fall off, but it will not all fall off. Those are the crusties. Those are the good ones. So you want to take this big girl. Oh my goodness. You know, blow out your back while you do it. All right, I'm going to go wash this hand. All right, the other side, guys, literally you're just going to rinse and repeat. Like I said, start you with a big old deal, a big old blob of binder, and smooth it around. This one will be a little bit weird. I mean, you can wash your hand, but what's the point? This will be a little bit weirder because your hands are dirty, but you'll be fine. What's up, babe?
What's up?
All right, we are going to put the rest of the seasoning. I'm just gonna have to make more. It'll be all right. We're gonna put the rest of the seasoning on here, and then I am going to. We're gonna have to find a light to take out there so they can see what's going on. I'm gonna clean up. I'm going to take this out to the smoker here in just a minute, so I'll see you guys back. All right, so sorry about the lighting. I don't keep lights out here. So the thicker part you're gonna want towards your smoke box. And actually, I need to close that. Don't let me forget. I need to close it down a little bit. No, it's as far as putting it on. You don't want it. You don't want it right next to the fire, but you want the thicker part towards. You want the thicker part closer to the smoke box. Anthony, come over here, buddy. All right, so I showed you your fat. Literally what you're going to do with your fat is you're going to throw it right there, and you're going to be very careful when you go to touch it again. You hear that sizzling? That is going to sit there, and it's going to render, it's going to melt, and it's going to render down And we'll come back to that. I'll show you guys exactly what to do with that here in a little bit. All right, guys, so one thing I did want to come on here and mention, you don't have to have it, but it makes it infinitely easier. This is a wireless a wireless thermometer. I will link this one down below. This one in particular, this is a transmitter. It's got sorry, it's hard to see. You got four different probes that go into it. These are your meat probes. It's pretty straightforward. I think this one was like 20 or 30 bucks online on Amazon. You take this one, it's got a little belt clip, and clip it to you, take it inside, whatever. So what I do, what I've always done, what I've been told to do is you put one in your thick side. That was squishy. Put one in your thick side, one in your flat. That way you can get, what color is this? That's gold. Where's my silver one? That's black. There, silver. Nope, you're good. Put it back, buddy. All right, yeah, you want to make sure, get in there, that you are cooking evenly. So what you do when you get it, over here, monkey, here, I'll put it in the light. Sorry guys, I know it's dark. When you get it in the probe, or the probe's in, oh my goodness, I dropped it again. It's real simple. You can put whatever probes you want in whatever position. You hit the button and it will display your temps there, which that's actually pretty high. Alright, you come over here, you turn this on, and it's got different modes on it. I'm not super sure how to use the modes. There it is. Oh, why are we on chicken? So you can actually, sorry about the beeping, you can go through probe 1, 2, that's a 4 probe system, which you got all your stuff that lights up. You can go through here and actually select, oof, my eyeballs. You can go through here and select what you want. They got chicken, fish, a custom one, cow, goat, veal, which is, that was a goat, dork. If you're cooking hamburgers, you're cooking hogs, that's chicken, that's also chicken, fish again. And so I'm going to leave it on custom. If you want to use one of the presets, it has everything in there. It has everything in there for you. You can set alarms on this. These are the, when you go to clear it, it's kind of a pain, so I'm going to let you guys figure it out if you want. But you can see, Ivan, are you focusing on this, dude?
Yeah.
As you can see, both of these are identical. So what I do, I put one in each one, and then I'm going to take this dude. That's going to be tricky because that old boy's got bone in it. Alright, I'm only going to put one probe in for the... Oh, get in there. I'm only going to put one probe in the pork butt. Don't laugh at that. And then I'm going to use this last probe right here for an ambient temperature, which I got to go get a piece. I'll be right back. Just hang out for a second, bud. This is a clip. It comes, the kit that I ordered comes with 2 of these. You squeeze it together, slide your probe in, and now you can clip this right to your grill. Come on now, you dirty dog. Oh, there's crap right there. Hey. Okay, don't do it on a bracket. But yeah, you clip it in there, and now you have a decent ambient temperature gauge. So the problem with doing this is this gauge is reading what's down low, and the gauge, your temp gauge up high, up here, buddy. Your temp gauge up here is going to read the top, and yeah, thank you. This is going to read more of the top temperature, and the unit. Woo! This one is going to read what's down low. So with you having one high and one low, you're kind of going to have to average them. I try to keep my temperature between 285 and 300. Yes, you're going to get a little higher. Yes, you're going to get a little lower. Nature of the beast with these old smokers like this. This is not a new one. My grandfather cooked on this for 20 years before he finally gave it to me. But I'm going to move this meat around a little bit. I actually want to get that pork butt away from that fire just a little bit. And then there's nothing else to really do right now. I'll come back here in about 45 minutes to an hour and I'm going to check my temps again. I may throw some logs on it. We'll see. But I will see you guys here in just a little while. 12 hours or so since you guys saw me. The brisket is ready for wrap. It took forever to get to this point. I gotta be quiet, everybody's asleep. I've got the brisket I'm fixing to wrap, and I've got the pork butt over there that is ready to wrap. What I use to wrap this, it's just, I mean, it's Reynolds Kitchen, but it's just butcher paper. I've heard that you can use parchment paper also. I was told not to use foil, which, you know, in principle sounds like a good idea. But let's get this thing wrapped and let's get it back on the grill, on the smoker, so we can get it finished. Alright guys, so so that pan of fat that we had put on the grill to render down, it's, I don't know, ooh, you can't see it. Alright, so it is 100% liquefied, and this is exactly, you'll see it when I pour it in, this is exactly what you want. This pan is going to be scalding hot, so when you pick it up, be careful. When you get this, it's going to have little chunkies in it. For the love of everything holy, do not eat the chunkies, just throw them away. You're just going to take this and you're going to dribble it all over this big old brisket. And all this is fat. Oh, shit. All this is, oh my goodness, we're running. All this is it's just the fat and the flavoring that is gonna be able to put right back in your brisket, and it's gonna help it be that much juicier. I'm gonna clean this up because I threw too much on here, and we're having runaways now. God dang it. All I'm using to do this is, it's just wooden toothpicks. You can get the little T-pins. I know a lot of people that use T-pins, but wooden toothpicks will do just fine, guys. Don't think too much. Oh my gosh. Don't think too much about it, man. It's really not that big of a deal. All this is to help keep the, golly, I put way too much on it. All this is to help keep the paper on there so it don't come back off. Alright, so here's a great example. I have this brisket is too big, so I'm going to have to use two pieces. You just want your top piece, you want it just big enough to fit right here. You lay it inside and then you can pin through it. Alright, so that's how you wrap a brisket. I know it's a little sloppy, kind of a pain, but I'm working with one hand. It's 6:30 a.m. and I have yet to really go to bed, but that's back on. We are watching our temps, and I will be back with you guys later when we go to pull that sucker off the grill. I'm fixing to start making mashed potatoes and some macaroni and cheese. Oh, then I got that big caramel salted ham to put on there, so I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, so I did it again. It's a couple days after my Friendsgiving. I got done with this brisket at like 6:30, 6:45 in the morning. Don't judge me on my dirty kitchen. I'm still trying to recover. But I got done with it real early, and I threw it in the oven and let it rest. And I just, by the time I cut it, guests had started arriving early, so I didn't have time to open a camera and everything. I had to start cutting everything up and getting it going. But I do, so I'm gonna put you guys down. So what you do when you pull it off of your, you want to wrap your brisket at about 165, and this is what I use. You don't want to use tin foil. I've heard that's really bad for it. It doesn't vent properly, something, I don't know. I've heard you can use parchment paper, which is pretty similar to this, but I use butcher's paper. This 75 square feet, that usually lasts me. That's the third roll I've bought in like 2 years, and I barbecue and smoke quite a bit. So you pull it at, I think it's 165 is what I said. That rendered fat, you pour that back on top of that. I might have recorded that, I'm not sure. But you want to pour that back on there, and then you pull it between, I want to say it's like 190 to 205. I always take mine up closer to the 200, 205 range. And then you want to put it in, you can put it in a cooler. My cooler right now it's full of other stuff. I have a designated like meat cooler, but it's full of other stuff. But you want to put it in a cooler, or you can put it in an oven. An oven will work just fine. Do not turn the oven on. What it is it's sealed, and it will keep the heat in. And you have to let this brisket rest and recover. And when I mean recover, you have to let all this juice, so many cuts. You have to let all this return where it will juice up. So I pulled this back out to warm it up, finish cutting it up. I didn't cut it all up the other day. This was in the oven for about 10 minutes. And even after it's been in the fridge for 2 days, you guys can still see how absolutely juicy this is. It falls apart. Yeah, it falls apart. That's one of the better briskets I did. I did a completely different seasoning job than I usually do, but it turned out absolutely phenomenal. You guys, actually on this piece, come here, big guy, you can see the smoke rings on it. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, this turned out real well. I'll probably use this recipe again. I'm trying to get where y'all can see me because I can't move the camera. But I'll probably use this recipe again. It was really good. I liked it. Everybody else seemed to like it real well. Trying to think of anything else. The spices you guys use, they make, barbecue specific rubs and spices and all that stuff. I use a couple of them, and then I mix it with some of my other stuff. And with that, it's not so much, this much of this much of that, X amount of this, X amount of that. You feel it in your soul. You just put it in there till it looks good, till it feels good. You want to use your mustard binder. Keep your heat. Try to keep it even. If you're on like a pellet smoker, it won't be that big of a deal because you can set your heat and walk away. But like I showed you, I've got that old barrel smoker. So it's a little bit challenging for that one. She's old. She's got some cancer. Got a couple holes. So I got to go out there about every 30 minutes. Stir the coals, check the logs, add the logs. Well, I guess 45 minutes to an hour. But then you want to pull it off. You want to wrap it. Before you wrap it, you take your rendered juice, your fat that you put on there, you render it down, you pour it back on there. When you pull it, I did forget to tell you, when you pull that brisket and put it in an oven or a cooler or whatever to rest, you do not, or let it recover, I'm sorry. You do not unwrap it. You leave the wrapping on it. I think I let mine rest for 4 or 5 hours. They say like 2 hours minimum. But I let mine rest for 4 or 5 hours the other day, and it was just, I cut it open and it was just dripping because it was so juicy. But like I said, you want to let it recover, let it rest up, let it set up and everything. Same with the pork butt. I know I didn't show you guys much of the pork butt. It's actually shredded. I also wrapped it about the same temp, and you can find all this on Amazon, not Amazon, brain fart, on Google. Just type in, what temp to wrap a brisket, what temp to pull a brisket, what temp to smoke a brisket, etc., etc. It's the same for pork butt. It's all about the same. You kind of just got to get in your own motions and make your own way of doing things. But I hope this helped you. Oh shit, sorry. I got brisket on the brain. The pork butt, I got done with it, pulled it out, also let it rest. And when I went to shred it, I went to pick it up to put it on this cutting board right here, and it literally fell apart. I picked it up and my fingers just wasn't even trying to hold it, just cradle it, because I could feel it was real flexible and flimsy. I cradled it and my fingers went right through it, and I picked the bone up and did this, and the rest of it just fell completely off of it. I didn't have to. Usually you've got to take a fork or your fingers, or they make fancy shredding tools. I literally just took my fingers and picked it apart. So it was extremely tender, extremely juicy. Everybody really enjoyed it. The ham, the salted caramel glazed ham was a freaking hit. I didn't get much of that left. That got pretty annihilated pretty fast. But yeah, I wish I had showed y'all some of the side dishes and stuff, but I stayed up through the night with the stupid brisket, and I was tired. So forgive me. We will do another one. I cook a lot of stuff, kind of a lot of off-camera weirder stuff, if you will. I do a lot with deer meat when I have some. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Mama's almost home. I gotta get this cut up and sliced up, and I think we're gonna do sliders with it maybe. I don't know. We're gonna find something to do, but I gotta get cooking. I gotta get this stuff done. I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys for being here. I hope it helped.